Games Workshop's on my shit list.
Hi chaps and chapettes, this is an impromptu video. I was working on my playing the game video, which is the third in the three-part series, which has become extraordinarily complex for some reason. Even though you'd think it'd be simple, it's like, oh, a video about playing the game. Well, it's not. And I'll get that out hopefully this week still. I'm doing this impromptu one. I had a comment from a YouTube subscriber, BW Terrain Forge, who is an independent creator of, the gaming models. But I guess the reason I'm making this is because, as he pointed out, GW is such a large entity in this hobby space, and also I'm seeing so many I've brought this up before. There's so many negative videos about GW bit my dog or whatever, and Wizards of the Coast are the same. If you watch, there are channels that basically that's all they do. That's their whole line, is just attacking these companies. Well, I'm kind of gonna do the same thing, but I'm also not. It's a two-edged sword. So basically, the main message is, these companies are not your friend. There is a thing, especially in on YouTube that I see, but where everybody wants to know everyone and everybody uses each other's first name, and you don't know them. We don't know them. They're a company, and they make decisions based on monetary gain. Now, that's not the front they put out, obviously, because so I guess that's what I'm going to get into today. This is true of a lot of companies, but because my channel is about returning to the old world, it has changed for me. I found, going back and looking at it, it's not what it used to be. I saw it becoming what it is when I kind of stopped doing it, and when I look at it now, it is like gone extremo over there. Like, we want money, but we're nice, and it's a hobby, and join the cult. So that's where this video is coming in. That's the intro for this video, not scripted. Cut point. So Games Workshop is a publicly owned company, basically. So when it was back in the day, it was a private company. When it was Important Dungeons and Dragons and all these things with Ian Livingstone, and all these guys went off to do great stuff. There's an evolution where at some point, and I'm guessing it's like getting into doing the plastics or growing the business large enough where going to the bank wasn't enough. A lot of companies, for example, my company, I get a contract in and they want me to produce 10,000 things on my laser machine, it's never going to happen quick enough. I can go to the bank and say, look, I need another laser machine, give me 15 grand, the contract's worth 20 grand, you take your interest, there we go. I've made money, the bank's made money. I don't make a lot of money for that effort, but I do at the end of it have a fully paid laser machine, so I can up what my output is. Once the capital investment gets too big, or the banks say, well, we don't know what that is, we're not willing to give you the money, you can go and get like an investment group, which is, you can float it on the shares and become a public liability company. So there's two reasons one big reason not to do that is you lose a lot of control. I know a lot of people don't believe this, but publicly owned companies have a lot of oversight because it's not their money, it's other people's money. There is a lot of oversight needed for that. I guess here's the trick. When Games Workshop, and I don't know where the point was, I don't follow them that close, but in general, I'm guessing it's when they went plastics, and someone out there might know their history a lot better than I do. I'm just talking generalities. They need a lot of money. They floated it. And now they've got to make the downside of that, they lose a lot of the control because Now the other downside being is they've got to make people X amount of money. The upside of that is they don't have to. They can go, oh, sorry, yeah, your risk, you lost. There you go. Sorry about it. That being said, then their shares in the company are worth nothing, the company's worth nothing, and you bombed it. I guess my point is that when Games Workshop went public, they went to, right, we're going to make lots of money for our shareholders because the more money we got coming in, the more things we can do, which would be fine if that was the truth. And I'm not saying it isn't the truth. Allegedly, it is. But you can tell, so this is the bit that I don't like. With those kind of companies, they work for their shareholders. There's no two ways about it. They work for the shareholder. And you will have companies, you see it all the time on the news, where they told their shareholders they were projecting a $50 million profit. So all the shareholders, going, yay, we're going to get nice dividends and blah, 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 and bonuses. Now, all of a sudden, they only make a $20 million profit because of this, that, or the other. And then they'll go and they'll start going, well, how can we need to cut costs so we can get back up to this 50 million. They'll start firing people and, running lean. And I mean, they're still making a $20 million profit, which is what annoys me. And then they're letting people go and you're still making a profit. But, that's the danger of a shareholder-driven company a lot of times. Now, I'm not saying that they haven't had their hard times, because it's documented that they have. But they're not having them now, especially not after the boom they had in the pandemic. So, shareholder companies are very risk-averse, because shareholders are very risk-averse. So we get things now such as, everything's out of stock. Even the cards. They've just rebought out a new game. Those cards are out of stock. I can go online and get cards printed, custom cards that I make for a game. I'll have them in a week. And they won't cost that much. I don't understand, why things like that are left behind. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Not a rant video, kinda. Now you can kind of see the turn, or I went when I was looking. Jordan Sorcery has an interview with Mark Wells, which was a Games Workshop CEO. Now, when I watched that, I kind of threw up in my mouth a little bit, because the guy's may be a really nice guy, I don't know, but he's every experience I've ever had of a pointy-headed boss being counted, and then gaslighting the employees because the company's not doing what it should be doing. And to his attribution of how he turned the company around is that he fired a bunch of people that were not the right kind of people. That scares the crap out of me. Who decides who's the right kind of people? They used to say that, a long time ago about, oh no, they wanted to join a union, so we got rid of them. For example, they made a lot of the stores down to one-man run stores. And if you think of that, running a Games Workshop store on your own, doing things like, the stocking, dealing with people, doing the sales, the paperwork, the painting, all the stuff that making the terrain, all the stuff you have to do in a Games Workshop store. I wouldn't have time to do that back here on my own, to be honest with you. So then you have to have, ask people to volunteer to do the painting. And so all of a sudden these right-minded people are basically people that will slave away, probably more hours than they're getting paid for, probably not getting paid the best, because it's their dream job. And you're lucky to work for Games Workshop, therefore you'll do it. And I work for companies like that, and it is not a nice place to be. Now, it may be for some, don't get me wrong. I'm just going from my own subjective view of things. Yeah, this is not an objective, this is this. I'm talking about this because it came up, how much Games Workshop, or I noticed how much they've changed, and also how much of a shadow they cast over the rest of the industry. So, the right type of people, that's, and you'll have to, it's on Jordan Sorcery channel, and it's the interview with Mark Wells. Make your own judgment. I mean, the guy, I don't know. I mean, again, he's a very, he does the businessy side of it. But, and if it had been a car manufacturer or something, it's the same as, ripping the soul out of a BMW or ripping the soul out of a Ferrari when new ownership comes in and makes cars and makes the car boring. Well, Games Workshop, people like that come in and they just, I don't know. It's hard, because they fight against the creatives. The creatives want to do something creative and great and new, and then the bean counters say, no, that's too much risk. Keep doing what we're doing. So, and that's good business. And that's the whole point of this video is these companies, Wizards of the Coast or Games Workshop, they are not your friends, and we can piss and moan about it. We really don't have the right because, it's not our business. They run the business. Now, they'll market themselves as your buddies and they'll turn it cult-like. For example, the people that absolutely throw a fit about printed models. If you really just want to play the game, it shouldn't matter, unless they look like shit. I get that. But, it's kind of cultish to me, kind of brainwashy, I think. So, like BW Terrain Forge brought up, when, and I didn't know down the company. You guys probably know it better than me because it's 40K stuff, but the company that was making the shoulder pads. Now, on the interview with some of the guys at Games Workshop, they'll say, well, we just want the big end of the cone, that people hit joining the hobby. And then the niche products, we're not going to do because there's not enough people buying them. Now, that is a lie because, you get a company that makes shoulder pads or makes jetpacks for Marines. Games Workshop are not going to do those. It's not worth it. You're going to have how many, you're not going to sell enough of them. There's a lot of work goes into it. So these guys make these, and then all of a sudden they just they oh no, that's our IP, you can't do it. And I'm going to call bullshit on that because you're not going to do it. They're not taking money away from you. They're not buying something that you offer, and here's the thing, there are a lot of designers out there, smaller guys, and it's, I don't want to because I'm the same, you're eating the crumbs that fall from the table, you're not stealing from the table. So that's the bad side, the dark side of the shareholder companies, the big GWs. You think, okay, you can buy the line and say, no, they're just protecting their IP. I understand. I don't like people printing miniatures that look like them, yada, yada, yada. But on the flip side, people, I agree. If someone's absolutely, killing, taking the piss out of their IP, and selling things that are for sale, then no, and especially in large amounts. Then no, I disagree with that. But when they start, picking up people really that are just eating crumbs off the table, backpacks and different types of bolters that they'll never do. It's a creative hobby. And, when you try to put blinkers on people, I'm not a fan of it. Cut point. So a lot of people, I get in comments, a lot of people are really, really complain about the price as well. They're like, well, I'm not paying, crap tons of money for old sculpts and yada yada. And here's might be news to you. Here's the thing. Games Workshop don't care. You are not one of their customers. If you are not going to buy their product, you are not the targeted customer. They don't care. You are not in their bracket. So you can go, well, I'm not paying all that. Don't. There you go. You're not a customer. They don't care. And here's the trick is they have a production line or they have a production run. So they can say, how much can we sell this? This cost us 10 cents to make. It's plastic. The mold's done. We're going to make X amount. It costs us 10 cents to make. How much can we sell this for? And it's crap tons. They have a huge markup. Now, the next time they go, well, let's make a few less and put the price up. People are still going to buy it at the higher price, but less people are going to buy it because of the higher price. So where are we there? Oh, we made even more money because, so there's a balance there where they chop a part of the market off and say, go away, you're not going to buy our stuff because of the price. Now you guys are going to buy it for more. We like this. And they'll keep chopping and scraping, chopping and scraping. And somebody brought up, if they could, they'd sell one Space Marine for 250 million to somebody who'd buy it. There you go. Why make all the rest? If you can sell one Space Marine for a huge amount of money, you just go away the rest. I don't need, no return, less returns, less overhead, less, So that's how they think as a business. And there is no, the only fan friendliness really is their PR marketing. And they've cut that to the bone. From what I hear, I'm not in the UK, I'm not even near a GW store, and if I was, I probably wouldn't go. So there you go, that's me. That's pot calling the kettle black, but I used to. And it used to kind of be fun. But maybe as you get older, maybe it's because I'm an old, miserable old git, but, when you're just looking at them going, no, it's becoming coldish, and I don't like what it's become. Now it's none of my business. It's your business. You run it how you want. You're not my friend. I'm not pretending you're my friend. And I'm not in your view. I'm not your target audience. So you're like, whatever. What is Games Workshop IP? They've stolen about everything from everybody else. So, which is why they killed. But back to it. That's why they killed the Warhammer old. Gonna do a video on that too. What they could have done with Warhammer to keep it going. That isn't that hard to do either. Again, the killing of the old world was done for business reasons. Business killed the hobby, not your friends, which is fine. Just I'm probably going to get some comments flaming at me. How dare you? Anyway, that's my quick video that I did instead of the longer video. And again, thank you for people's comments. I really do, I read them all and I try to reply to them all. I think I have up to now. I don't get that many. It's still a very, very small channel. But, it's a fun thing to sit and think about stuff sometimes. Even if it's something just obscure as playing with toy soldiers, when you actually start picking away at it, you're like, wait a minute, this is true of a lot of places and a lot of companies. And once you start to see it, you can't unsee it, I guess. So anyway, thanks again for watching. And that's my ramble on over rambled. Have a good one.